Hello, YouTube Wise FIFA here, coming at you today on a Sunday with a Sunday half and half. This is the second episode where I just build a fun little team and then cover a topic that I think will be relevant in the upcoming weeks or in the past. So right now we are covering the winter upgrades, but I'm going to show you guys a little 4-1-2-1-2 team that features that really nice silver Iheanacho, but focused around the main man, Mesut Ozil. Really tidy player. You can pick him up for around 36K with the Team of the Year market crash, or crash in parentheses. I'll say there's a little bit of drop in players' prices. But this is a really low rated team. You could pick them up for like 35K. You can pick up this whole team probably for less than 50K. And it actually does pretty well. I've only been able to play a couple games. The first game didn't go so well. But the second game, you're going to see we just go on a goal spree. But today we're going to focus on the winter upgrades, and that's a topic that comes up around this time of year in every FIFA. They've been doing it for the past FIFA since FIFA like 11 or 12, I think. And so this is around January or February where EA will release players that have been doing really well in real life, and they bump their ratings up by a couple ratings or a few, just depending on how much better they're doing than their cards really reflect. And so this is a really good time for investing, and also just it brings a nice new life into FIFA, because then you can play with players that were previously underrated that you really think are popular. So I'm going to cover some investments about that. You're going to see some great goals. That Ozil card is really good. I really enjoy that. What a little cheeky header we get there. Nothing special, but it gets the job done. So like I said, I'm going to cover some investments investment topics about this issue, because I know a lot of people like to invest, because if a player gets upgraded, then their inform gets upgraded. But that's only if the player's upgrade conflicts or intersects with an already rated or already inform rated player. So, for example, if Cesar Azpilicueta, who has 84 overall, his inform is 86. If he gets an 86 overall upgrade, then his 86 overall inform is going to go up to 87. But if not, if he gets an 85, then the 86 is going to stay the same. So to illustrate some investments that I think are going to happen, we're going to head on over to the web app. We get the rage quit here, and it was just a solid performance from the boys. So now we're back on the web app. We're going to go into the transfer targets, because I'm going to show you guys some of the investments that I think are going to be going, that will go for a lot in this upgrade season. But at the same time, before we get into this, I want to bring up the point that's a really focal point, is that EA this year, when they've been releasing the informs for the low-rated players, I'm talking about your like 75 to 80 overall gold players, what they've been doing is they've actually been boosting their informs by like 4 to 5 rating points, and that's a lot. They haven't been doing that since like FIFA 12, but I think this is going to have a really severe impact on how people invest in the winter upgrades this year. Because like I said before, if a player gets upgraded and their rating increases, if it doesn't overlap with an inform, then the inform itself is not going to get upgraded. So if you're trying to invest in a lot of players such as like Belotti only has like a 77 overall card, but his inform's like 81 or 82. And the thing is, if he gets an upgrade, which I think he will, he's only going to get upgraded to like 79, 80 max. And the thing is, his inform then isn't going to rise. The inform isn't going to rise to fill the gap. It's just going to stay the same. So people got to look out for their investments this year, because they have to weigh, hey, do I think this guy's going to get upgraded enough so that his inform actually, or that his upgrade actually conflicts with the inform, thereby increasing his inform. So that's why I think this year the investments are better placed in your higher rated players. And you're going to see some go across the screen, or with players that are having extremely standout years who are going to get upgraded ratings by like 4 or 5 ratings. And that's pretty rare. So the investment pool is actually kind of shrinking this year. And I think that EA might have done this a little bit on the self-conscious side, or consciously on their side. So now we're going to go through. We got some players from the BPL, Bundesliga, all the big leagues. And then at the end, I'm going to show you a couple other miscellaneous investments that I think are pretty tight that I just haven't gotten around to put on the transfer list. But we're going to start in the BPL. There's a lot of high-rated players who are high profile that are most likely about to get their informs upgraded, and they can also get upgraded based on stat increase as well. So even if a player's inform or upgrade doesn't conflict with their inform, but say a stat changes where the upgraded card stat would actually be higher than the inform stat will be upgraded to reflect that. So we're going to start off first with Harry Kane. And he's just having a stellar year like he had last year. I think he's going to get upgraded by 1 or 2 ratings. So that means his informs will bump up. So you're seeing that 87 go up to an 88, 89. And with the weekend league this year, he is going to be a class player. Same with this Eriksson, who's having another stellar year. I mean, this card could push 90, and I think that would really drive his price up. So Azpilicueta, this is another one that you can make some serious profit on if he does get upgraded to an 86. He's an 84 to an 86. I think he's a fine investment anyways, because of how good he is overall, especially with that pace. so that even if he doesn't get that upgrade, you can still sell him. He won't lose that much value because of the weekend league demand. Mane's having an outstanding year. I definitely think that this is one to go for. You can invest in his one to watch, but he's also just got a regular 82. This is just the first one I saw on the screen, so I think that he'd be good investment. Imagine that pace he's going to have on him. His shooting and everything should be really class. We got Diego Costa. Chelsea, unfortunately, are having a great year. Personally, I think they're nothing better than... Yeah, never mind. Just kidding. Was gonna use some harsh words there, but Chelsea's having a great year. Can't take anything away from them. We got James Milner up next. He's gonna have a big upgrade, and hopefully his pace gets upgraded, which would make him an extremely valuable card because of the lack of left backs in the BPL that are positive. Now we're moving over to Lloris. This is a high-profile goalkeeper upgrade that would be amazing. His regular card is, I don't know if he's worth it, but it doesn't matter because people are going to want him because I think he's arguably the best keeper in the game. That man is crazy against me. And these are all solid options. The prices I'm showing you right now do not accurately reflect what they are, but at the same time, you can really do some research on Footbin or just in the market yourself before buying them, and you can be able to pick up some really good deals around this team of the year where all these prices have gone down at least a little. Modeste and Forsberg. These are two borderline investments that are rather on the cheaper side that could be useful for this winter upgrade if you're trying to get cheap, like Sule as well. Sule's having a really great year, and I think there's that rumors with his transfer to Bayern, so his card can be pushed up a lot. Like I said, I don't know if these guys' overalls will definitely necessarily change, but at least some of the stats in their cards which might make them desirable. Now we're going to get to the Serie A, who has a bunch of players that I think are going to have big enough upgrades to where their informs will shift. Mertens is one of them. Icardi for sure. Icardi is definitely one of the guys that I recommend you guys invest in. And Higuain, if you have the coins, those guys are going to get big boy bumps that will be able to raise their prices, and you can make a nice return. Bernardeschi, one of my favorite players. I think that he's a sleeper pick for getting an upgrade where he can actually get his inform boosted. Although, like I said, it's tough to justify Icardi getting an 82 from like a 78. Then we're going to move to the League. I know I'm trying to go through these a little bit fast, but I really just think that this is, to keep this video concise, but I really think that the pool for investments this year is a little bit on the lower side. Let me know if you guys think I'm wrong or add any players in the comment section below. You know I'm always interested in hearing from you guys. But we're going to move to Cavani. Oh, sorry, Donnarumma sneaked in there. I think he's also a solid investment. This kid is amazing, and yeah, I know it's weird to say kid because this dude's like 17 years old, and I'm sitting here at like 21 just beating it by a computer. So we got Cavani over here. He's pushing a great season. Cavani and I'm going to switch over Balotelli. These are my last two. These two are big-time players for their clubs, and they've been scoring goals in Ligue 1, and I definitely think that they're going to warrant some upgrades. Now I'm going to go in and show you guys a couple of the miscellaneous league players that I think are going to get upgrades that might go for a lot. We're going to go with Giuliano from Zenit. He is one of the players that is having a stellar year, and I would love to see an upgrade. I wouldn't recommend, you can invest, you should definitely invest in this one to watch, but that's a different topic later. But I even think this blue card will get upgraded, and coming in at 40K, if he gets upgraded by 2 to 3 rating points higher than his inform, you're going to look at like an 87 overall card. Brazilian that is just extremely useful, 5-star skiller. Definitely recommend him. Now we're going to move, so one player that I also think, I didn't really cover the La Liga, and the only player that I can see getting an upgrade relatively close to their thing is not Ignacio, is the Paolo Piatti. And he's having a really stellar year in terms of assists and goals in the Liga BBVA, so I think he's a good shout, and he's a low-risk investment choice because he's only trading for like 20K, and his price will stay pretty stable. We're going to go to silver market-wise and on this guy, and this is Horgan. This is, not Horgan, Hogan, my bad. Scott Hogan. From so if he gets a 74 overall upgrade or whatever, this inform will actually go up to 74 as well, and his stats will get adjusted accordingly. So you actually can make a serious profit on him here. I'm going to go back and show you guys some prices on him again. And you can pick up this guy for less than like 15K, and so you can really get some interesting, you might be able to get some interesting amount of profit back on him. He's one to watch. And then last one, Musa Sow. I definitely think this guy has a shot to get upgraded to like an 81, 82, which might change some of the stats on his card, and he's just been having a stellar year. You gotta love the bicycle kicks. So that's my inform. We're going to go back through one more time the players, and that's my inform high-rated spiel that I'm going to give you guys about the winter upgrades. I definitely think that you guys should be looking at the high-rated players this year instead of the low-rated players like the past, because these are the guys that are the ones that have the narrow inform gap where the informs are only like 1 or 2 ratings higher, and that's where the money's going to be this year. Unfortunately, the lower rated, I love the fact that EA are doing that where they give the low rated players higher bumps, but for the winter upgrades, it's not really beneficial. So next week, we're going to look at, I might do even more winter upgrades. That might be pretty fun just to do some cards that might look interesting. But other than that, make sure you guys are just watching out with your investments and like and subscribe. Leave any suggestions or advice in the comment section below. But most importantly, stay wise.